Hello, this is Theory 2, Distance 3A. We're going to analyze together page 79 in your workbook, and it is a piece by Mozart, an excerpt by Mozart. Before we get started, I sent you another link where you can hear this performed by a string quartet. So please go ahead and start off by listening to that, and then you can come back to this video. And you might want to listen to it a few times to get it in your ear, because that will help you do the analysis. And of course, at any time you can go back and listen to it again. Now we're going to do two things in this analysis. One is we are going to look for all presentations of theme A and theme B, and we are going to look for all presentations of theme A and theme B when they are in inversion. And that means when they're upside down. So for example, theme A starts by going da 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 da. If we took those notes and flipped it upside down, it would go da 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 da. Right? Instead of going up 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 down, it would go down 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 up with this like a mirror image. So that would be the inversion, is when it's the upside down version. So looking for A and B and labeling any A or B, whether it's presented regular or if it's presented in inversion. In fact, if you want to pause the video and go ahead and try to do that now, and then when you think you've found all of them, unpause, and I will show you where they are. Let's see, where is more A? Right here. And also in the cellos. And let's see, is there another one? Da, 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 da. For some reason, I thought I saw another one earlier. All right. Oh, here it is. Here is A, but this one's upside down. So this is A in inversion. It's only part of it, but you can see that Mozart took the first two measures of this melody, he flipped it upside down, and now it became a bass line. Very clever. Let's look for some B. Here we have it. And then check it out. We have another one. With an abrupt ending there. Now something about these two B's is that this one comes in and this one comes in a measure later, kind of like a call and response. So typically when we talk about this kind of effect in classical music, we don't always call it call and response. We often call it imitation. So we can see that the second voice is imitating the first voice down a fifth, right? The first one comes in on E, the second one imitates coming in on A. And what do we have here? Dun, 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 dun. This is B, but now it's upside down. So B in inversion, and we have another B in inversion here. So we have the counter melody, bum, 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 ba, da, da, da. And the counter melody upside down, harmonized, has now become the primary melody. And let's see here. I'm going to jump down a little bit. We have dun 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 dun, There's B. And then the inversion, dun, 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 dun. So we have the counter melody, we have the opening melody and, the counter melody and the upside down version of it played at the same time as our new melody and counter melody. So anyway, this gives you a glimpse into all the levels of complexity and relationships in Mozart's music in terms of his thematic material. All right, next, let's do some Roman numeral analysis, and I'm going to tell you that this one is actually kind of a beast to do, and because of that, there is some help on it. Anything in parentheses is a non-chord tone and is not part of the harmony. So, for example, if we look at number 2 here, we have this in parentheses, and we have this in parentheses. So we know that this note and this note are not in the harmony. So let's go ahead and do the rest. We have E, we have D, B, G sharp, and here we have alto clef, another E. So in the key of A major, I think this one's not too difficult. E, G sharp, B, D. So it looks like this is a 5/7. Now, we have to figure out though, what's the lowest note? It turns out that even though this is down in the third system, or excuse me, the third staff in the viola, this E is actually up here. So the lowest part is the second violin. Dun, 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 dun. And there's our lowest note is the G sharp. And so that's the bass note. So this will be 5/6/5. Makes sense? Cross out anything in the parentheses, and then it's a lot easier to figure out the rest. If you want to go ahead and pause and try to do a bunch of this on your own, go for it. I will tell you that if you see accidentals outside of the key of A major, then you will need to use a secondary chord, either a secondary dominant, if it's a major minor 7, or a secondary leading tone if it's diminished. So go ahead, try it on your own, and then I'm going to work through these. You can pause. All right, this one here, number 3. We have A on bottom. There's E still there. These are parentheses. We have C sharp, A, E, A, C, E sharp, A, C sharp, E. There's a 1. Okay, this one has an accidental. We have F sharp and A sharp and E. And it looks like the viola on alto clef is playing the same thing as the cello. So, all right, so we have to figure out F sharp, A sharp, and E. All right, check it out. The chord has F sharp, A sharp. What's the missing note? We're missing the 5th in this chord. Yeah, we're missing C sharp. F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, E. Now, this we definitely know is a secondary chord, and this is how we'll figure it out. Is it major minor 7? It is, right? It's an F sharp 7 chord, and F sharp is the dominant of which key? It is the dominant of B minor. And in this case, since this is F sharp's the dominant of B, it's 5 of B, but in the key of A major, it will be 5 of 2. And let's do the same thing on the next one. Cross out all these parentheses. And we're left with B, B again, A, B again, D sharp. Okay, so this chord is B, D sharp, missing note, A, and I think we know that the missing note is F sharp. B, D sharp, F sharp, A. All right. Again, is this a major minor 7? It is. So we know that this is 5/7 of the key of E. Of course, we're not in E, we're in the key of A. So this is 5/7 of 5. We were expecting 5/7 of 2 to result to 2. But here's the thing, 2 is B minor. When it went to 5 of 5, which is B major, it just it went to the same place, it just went to the major version. If you remember that 5 of 5 is sort of like a substitute for 2, kind of like the way 5 of 2 is sort of like a substitute for 6. And I'll explain that in a second. So normally this is our harmonic progression, but the idea is 2 is like a 5 of 5. 6 is like a 5 of 2. 3 is like a 5 of 6. So that's sort of a way to remember. And of course you can use, you could go 3 to here, and then you could use all of them if you wanted. But you could also just skip all the regular chords and use only the secondary dominant chords. Makes it more spicy. Okay, let's see. Cross out these. We have E, G sharp, and missing a B, and D. Yeah, Mozart's using a lot of incomplete 5/7s, which is his prerogative. E, G sharp, B, D is just a good old-fashioned 5/7. And we would expect this to go to 1. Let's see what happens. We have A, G natural, and C sharp. So here's our chord. A, C sharp, G natural. So because this is an A chord, it's tempting to label it as a 1, but it's not a 1. The G natural pulls it out of the key of A major. So we actually have to call this a secondary dominant. This is an A7. A is the dominant of which key? A is the dominant of D. So this is actually a 5/7 of D, or 5/7 of 4. So that's another one we can add to our list. That 1, we could use a 5 of 4 as a substitute because 1 going to 4 has that same kind of relationship as 5 of 4 going to 4. All right, number 8 is our crisis chord, and it looks like we have 4 different notes. We have D sharp, A, F sharp, and C natural. If we stack this into thirds, we'll get D sharp, F sharp, A, C. And the C natural is important because C natural is not in the key. If we take a look at this, we have a diminished triad, minor thirds all the way up. This is fully diminished. So we know that this is a secondary leading tone. D sharp is the leading tone to which key? To the key of E. So this is a 7 of E, except we're not going to call it 7 of E because we're in the key of A. We'll call it 7 of 5. Wow, that is very illegible. I'm so sorry. 7 fully diminished 7 of 5. I will have to write better because now all of you are looking at smaller screens. Anyway, I'm happy to stop doing the Roman numerals at that, but I wanted to make sure that we had some practice doing analysis. This one was a tricky one, but I feel like if we practice on the hard ones, then the easy ones will be even easier. Okay, that's it for this video. Next one will be page 79, the Schumann.